Hi, boys and girls. So today we're going to continue to analyze some text, which means to think about and look closer at the stories to see what we can tell about them, right? So we already know that when we look at a text, we can tell what genre it is. We can tell if it's fiction, nonfiction, fantasy, realistic fiction, biography, poetry, all of that stuff. We can look and analyze the text that way. We also know that we can tell if the story is being told in time order. Is it going, first, next, last? Is it a procedure telling you what to do in order, like a craft project? Is it going over the course of a day or a season or a rainstorm? Okay. We also noticed that some of the books are structured in a really cool way, right? Which means they're built kind of neat. They could be built in a circular pattern where it'll start talking about one thing, and by the end of the book, it'll go right back to where it started, just like in the if you give a mouse a cookie or if you give a pig a pancake in those books. Or it could be a cumulative book where it repeats everything that already happened again as it adds something new onto it, right? Like in the There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed books. All of those books follow that structure. Well, another thing you might notice about books is that they can be repetitive. Repetitive means that it repeats. So I kind of made just like a boing, 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 like a leapfrog kind of thing, because to me, it's doing the same thing over and over again, right? So sometimes it's not the whole book that's repeating, it's just a little section of it. And so it's being able to identify or notice when that's happening, and it helps make the book predictable. So authors will do it on purpose to make it more interesting for the reader, just kind of to create a pattern. One book that you already know that's very repetitive is The Pout Pout Fish. And I bet you can even repeat the part that is said over and over again. It says, "I'm a pout pout fish with a pout pout face, so I spread the dreary wearies all over the place. Blub, blub, blub." Right? It says that every time that he runs into something else, another fish. He says that all over again, doesn't he? He repeats. It makes the book predictable, and it makes the story more fun. Well, here's another version of the Pout Pout Fish, but it doesn't repeat the same phrase. It repeats a different one. So you listen closely, see if you can figure out what they're repeating in here. Okay, and then on the student page, you are going to be telling me what they are repeating in this book. So you have a job to do while I'm reading. So be a good detective. Look closely and think what is being repeated. And that's all you're going to have to tell me on the student page, is what you are hearing repeating. Here we go. A doozy of a drowsy made Mrs. Clam yawn. Then a big current whooshed, and her pearl was gone. Mr. Fish swam forth. "Mrs. Clam, don't weep. I will find your pearl. That's a promise I'll keep." He swooped through the water, swishing close to the sand, and he eyed every inch of the busy bottom land. He found a mucky marble where he thought the pearl might be. Then a hidden voice whispered, "It's further out to sea." So he swam a little deeper where the light grew dimmer. As his heart fluttered, Mr. Fish grew grimmer. "I'm fast as a sailfish. I'm strong as a shark. I'm smart as a dolphin. But I'm scared of the dark." Pay attention, what repeats? He kept on searching all along the ocean floor, through a reef, through a wreck, swimming far from the shore. Mr. Fish felt a pout pout poach on his hope. Then a whisper from before said, "It's down beyond the slope." So he swam a little deeper where the light grew dimmer. As his heart fluttered, Mr. Fish grew grimmer. "I'm as fast as a sailfish. I'm as strong as a shark. I'm as smart as a dolphin. but I'm scared of the dark. Did you notice some repeating? Pay attention because you're going to have to write those words down. A whirl of wriggly worms made a search team swirl, and they helped with the hunt for the yawn-gone pearl. But nothing was discovered. Mr. Fish felt despair. Then that soft voice whispered, "In the trench, check there." So he swam a little deeper where the light grew dimmer. As his heart fluttered, Mr. Fish grew grimmer. I'm as fast as a sailfish. I'm as strong as a shark. I'm as smart as a dolphin. But I'm scared of the dark. I won't keep swimming in this heap-deep black. I know I made a promise, but this fish is heading back. Then a whisper, now familiar, whisked away his dread. You can do it, Mr. Fish, her sweet voice said. Though there wasn't any light, not the smallest slim glimmer, Mr. Fish felt braver. Cheered on by Miss Shimmer. 2 are faster than a sailfish. 2 are stronger than a shark. 2 are smarter than a dolphin. 2 are bigger than the dark. So they swam down together, holding fin to fin, when suddenly, amazingly, light shone in. Mr. Fish said, "Yes!" Miss Shimmer shouted, "Yay! There's Miss Clam's pearl! Hooray! Hooray!" They smooched Mr. Lantern, and then they smiled as they swam, weaving back through the water to a happy Mrs. Clam. The whole gang gathered, feeling glorious and proud, as they swam in a circle and they sang out loud. The ocean is wide and the ocean is deep, but friends help friends, that's a promise we keep. We are bigger, yes, bigger, always big, bigger than the dark. All right, so there was a specific spot that repeated in there. If you can find it, you need to write it down. If you can't find it, it's a good idea to replay the video and be able to tell me, okay? Because I need you to either record yourself telling me the part that repeated or typing it. What part of the book is repeating? So it's a repetitive pattern, a section. Kind of like in the original where they said, I'm a pout fish with a pout face, so I spread the dreary rearies all over the place. That's the repeating part in the original book, okay? You got to find it in this book.